Right now, if you got lost, you'd pull out your phone, Google Maps, GPS, a pin dropped in seconds. You'd be found before you even started to panic. But imagine getting lost 40,000 years ago. No phone, no map, no road, no landmarks you recognize. Just trees or desert or tundra, stretching in every direction as far as you can see, and the sun going down. That wasn't a minor inconvenience, that was a death sentence. Because here's what getting lost actually meant in the ancient world. No food, no water, no shelter, no group, and no way to signal anyone that you needed help. Every hour you spent walking in the wrong direction was an hour further from safety, from your people, from survival, and yet, ancient humans traveled extraordinary distances. Across continents, through mountain ranges, across open ocean. They went places that should have been impossible to navigate, and they came back. So, what did they actually know that we've forgotten? The answer starts with the sky. Long before compasses, long before maps, ancient humans looked up. The North Star, Polaris, sits almost perfectly above Earth's geographic North Pole. It doesn't move the way other stars do. Every other star in the night sky rotates around it. Ancient navigators across cultures, from Polynesian seafarers of the Pacific to nomadic tribes of the Sahara, use this single fixed point to orient themselves across thousands of kilometers of open terrain. But stars only work at night, and only when the sky is clear. During the day, the solution was simpler: the sun. Every human on Earth, in every era, knew that the sun rises in the east and sets in the west. That single piece of knowledge gives you 4 directions at any time of day. Ancient hunters used shadow sticks, a straight branch pushed into the ground, to track the movement of shadows and determine true north with remarkable accuracy. This wasn't sophisticated technology. It was observation, careful, consistent, generational observation passed down from parent to child for thousands of years. But direction alone wasn't enough. You also needed to know where you were. And this is where ancient humans did something that modern people almost never do anymore. They memorized the landscape, not casually, obsessively. Indigenous Australian cultures developed what researchers now call songlines, complex musical routes that encoded the landscape into song. Every hill, every river, every unusual rock formation had a corresponding verse. To travel a route was to sing it. The song was the map. And some of these songlines stretched for hundreds of kilometers across terrain that hadn't changed in thousands of years. When an Australian Aboriginal person got lost, they didn't panic. They sang. They worked backward through the verses until they found a landmark they recognized, and then they followed the song forward again. Think about that. A navigation system so sophisticated it survived for over 50,000 years, encoded not in paper or stone, but in music. But what happened when none of that worked? When the sky was clouded over, the landmarks were gone, and the song had run out of verses? Ancient humans did what humans have always done when they run out of options. They followed animals. This sounds simple, but the logic behind it is precise. Animals always know where water is. Birds fly toward water sources at dawn and dusk. Certain animals follow predictable paths between feeding grounds and rivers. Ancient humans, who spent their entire lives observing animal behavior, knew exactly which species to follow and in which direction. A lost person who spotted a flock of birds moving at sunset had a very good chance of finding water within hours. And water meant survival, and rivers meant direction, because rivers always flow downhill toward larger bodies of water, toward coastlines, toward other human settlements. Every ancient culture that lived near rivers understood this. Follow the water downstream and eventually you find people. There's also evidence that ancient humans use smell, not metaphorically, literally. Experienced trackers across multiple cultures have documented the ability to smell water from significant distances, to smell the difference between a predator's territory and safe ground, and to smell the smoke of distant fires. A lost person who could smell smoke had a direction to walk, and smoke meant fire, and fire meant people. But here's where the story gets more interesting, because the most powerful navigation tool ancient humans had wasn't in the sky or in the landscape or in animal behavior. It was in each other. Ancient human groups didn't just wander randomly. They followed seasonal patterns, returning to the same water sources, the same hunting grounds, the same sheltered valleys, year after year. A lost person who knew their group's seasonal pattern had a predictable destination to aim for. Not a specific location, but a type of location. A river bend, a valley with particular rock formations, a coastline facing a specific direction. The knowledge of where your people would be at a given time of year was itself a navigation system. And if all else failed, ancient humans did something that researchers have only recently begun to fully appreciate. They stayed still. Survival experts today teach what they call the stop method. Stop, think, observe, plan. And the evidence from ancient cultures suggests that experienced hunters and gatherers understood this instinctively. Moving when lost costs energy, increases thirst, and takes you further from where people might search for you. Staying put, making fire, making noise, climbing to high ground for visibility, these behaviors show up across ancient survival traditions on every continent. The Inuit of the Arctic, who traveled across some of the most featureless terrain on Earth, developed a system of stone markers called encoded, human-shaped piles of rocks placed at intervals across the landscape to mark safe routes, water sources, and hunting grounds. When lost, an Inuit traveler looked for encoded. When they found one, they weren't lost anymore. Here's the thing that connects all of this. Every single navigation strategy ancient humans used, the stars, the songlines, the animals, the rivers, the seasonal patterns, the stone markers, required one thing above everything else: attention. Sustained, deliberate, lifelong attention to the world around them. Modern humans outsourced that attention to GPS decades ago. Ancient humans carried it in their heads from the moment they were born until the moment they died. The landscape wasn't background. It was the entire curriculum of their lives. So the next time your phone battery dies somewhere unfamiliar and you feel that small, cold panic rising in your chest, remember this. Your ancestors crossed continents with nothing but their eyes, their memory, and a song. Getting lost was a problem they solved so completely for so long that the solutions became music. You just forgot the words.